Welcome to Confessions, where a girl cheats on her boyfriend with her ex. This story is from Anonymous, where she married the nice guy and now regrets it. I married the nice guy and I'm now regretting it. Obviously, a throwaway account. I've been married to my husband for nearly 10 years, and I cannot ask for a nicer man. He cares for me emotionally, calls or texts me every day to say how much he loves and appreciates me. He is the typical nice guy who treats all women as they deserve, and he is the first nice guy I've dated who is emotionally available and genuinely caring. However, ever since the beginning, we have had okay intimacy. I have always been adventurous in the bedroom and love a good time. However, over the years, my drive has increased, and his has pretty much become non-existent. We have spoken about this multiple times over the years, and nothing we discuss has actually made a difference. We talked about threesomes, his fantasy, however. When I actually set these dates up with another girl, he changes his mind and says no, he just isn't in the mood. I've asked if he is still sexually attracted to me. I am 178 centimeters and only 62 kilograms, and he says yes every time. I've asked if he would be interested in just foreplay to get the mood going, and he says no. He feels like he is disrespecting me if I give a blowjob. When we do have intimacy, it's very vanilla missionary intimacy that lasts maybe 10 minutes. Then he tells me how amazing it was and how much he loves our connection. I'm getting to the point where I am starting to fantasize about sexual encounters with strangers and feeling like I settled. Did I make a mistake, or is this something that can be changed? Is this normal? It seems like you are in a difficult situation. Communication is key in any relationship, so it's good that you have been talking about your concerns with your husband. It's important to understand that sexual compatibility is important for both partners. It might be helpful to continue having open and honest conversations about your needs and desires and explore potential solutions together. It's also worth considering seeking professional help, such as couples therapy, to address these issues in a supportive and constructive manner. Remember, it's never wrong to prioritize your own happiness and fulfillment. This story is from Demon 187, where his ex cheats on her current partner on her birthday. My ex blew me on her birthday, and she didn't want to talk about it afterwards. To give some context, we started talking again after a while and still talk, and then I offered to buy her food for her birthday. I did just that and hung out at her house. I spoke to some of her family, and then they went their way. I ordered food, and I noticed after a while, she kept pouring wine into my cups. She was drinking as well, and after a while, she started to come on to me. I was nervous the whole time since her mom and brother were in other rooms, but I went along with it. I sucked on her boobs, and finally, she pulled my pants down and started sucking me off. This was the first time something like this ever happened to me, and it was such a wonderful feeling. I was moaning relatively loud, so she covered my mouth. I couldn't get hard because I was nervous about being caught. Did I do anything wrong? Has anyone here been through that before? In this situation, it seems like you were in a consensual encounter with someone you are reconnecting with. However, it is important to consider the context and the potential consequences of your actions. Engaging in sexual activities while others are present in the same house can be risky and disrespectful to their privacy, regardless of their awareness. It would have been better to find a more private setting to avoid any uncomfortable or inappropriate situations. Communication and mutual consent are essential in any intimate encounter, so it's important to ensure that both parties are comfortable and willing. This story is from Why Me, Why the World, where he accidentally finds his employer on adults' website. My ex-employers did porn, and I can't unsee it. The owner and his wife did swinger porn for a publicity stunt on Playboy. I found out from my direct manager and the compliance department, and I laughed, thinking it was fake or a joke. Spoiler alert, it was not a joke. After a lot of peer pressure, I finally looked it up, and would you look at that, they used their real names, and it was one of the first Google results. I will never unsee his wife's boobs. Never. I couldn't even get to the worst parts without closing the tab. I saw her every day too. I'm floored, but I have to say, if they weren't such horrible people, it wouldn't bother me. I really hate them, so I consider their porn career to be a character flaw. But honestly, if it was any other person, it wouldn't bother me. I'm aware of the double standard. Thank God, I don't have to see them anymore. You are rightfully shocked and disturbed by the discovery of your owner's and his wife's swinger porn career. It's understandable that you couldn't continue watching the explicit content and found it uncomfortable to see them every day. Although you acknowledge a double standard in your reaction, it seems your dislike for them as individuals amplifies your negative perception of their porn career. Thankfully, you no longer have to interact with them, providing some relief. This story is from Asimneb, where he gets a crazy experience in massage parlor. Got jerked off at massage parlor 3x etc. I am a 54-year-old married man. My wife and I haven't had intimacy for years. I yearn constantly for a woman. I have looked at so much porn that it hardly does anything for me. I am on antidepressants and haven't had a credible erection in years. When I get a chance, I go to bars where no one knows me just to get drunk and talk to women, although the latter part has not panned out. I have spent hundreds of dollars on hookup websites, only managing to sext with some lady overseas. 3 times, I have gone to massage parlors to get jerked off. I don't want to do that again. You seem to be experiencing a deep sense of longing and frustration in your current situation. It's understandable that the lack of intimacy in your marriage has taken a toll on you. However, seeking temporary relief through unhealthy outlets like excessive pornography, alcohol, and engaging in questionable activities may only exacerbate your feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. Instead, it might be helpful to have an open and honest conversation with your wife about your needs and desires, exploring potential solutions together. Communication and understanding are crucial for any relationship to thrive. This story is from Wet Intercourse, where she gets new fear because of her boyfriend. My boyfriend made me repulsed by men. This is not proofread. For context, I am a 19-year-old girl. Last year, I started dating a guy my age. He was nice at the beginning, would treat me with affection, and as an equal human being. With time, however, he slowly began to humiliate me in physical and psychological ways. He would spit in my mouth when we kissed, call me names, lock me in positions I couldn't get out of. He was much stronger than me, and forced me to smell his body odor, which disgusted me. I told him that made me uncomfortable, but he replied multiple times saying that I was just being petty, and because I allowed him to do that in the first place, I secretly liked it. Of course, we eventually had intimacy. The first time was great, but as time passed, I noticed he wouldn't return my actions. He loved when I gave him head, and so I did even if I disliked doing it, but he wouldn't do the same for me because it smells disgusting. He would barely cuddle with me, and every time he had the chance, he would just demand intimacy from me. When we showered and I complained that I was cold, he refused to turn up the temperature. He would say that I was just frail. Eventually, I just stopped complaining and did as he said, but he would blame me when I didn't get wet or when I said I wanted to stop. When I refused to have intimacy in the first place, he scolded me. In my head, this was all okay because outside of bed, he would buy me things and keep me company, compliment me, and treat me to walks and stuff. But even that started to fade. At the time, I was studying to enter university, and when I struggled with something, he would be sassy about it. He was also studying. He was top of our class. I was just behind him. I always got good grades and ranked top 10 in our institution. I praised him for his performance, but he wouldn't acknowledge mine. I started to feel inferior academically and socially. I felt like I couldn't get out of the relationship because I wouldn't be able to get someone as good. This really got to me. I started having panic attacks in private when I thought about this, and I started considering suicide. I started falling behind in my grades. I didn't feel like taking care of myself. He would point this out and pretend he didn't know what I was upset about. Eventually, I went to therapy and we broke up. It's been a year since, but I noticed I feel repulsed by the idea of relationships. I start to gag when someone touches me for more than a few seconds. I can't masturbate because I remember what he did to me, and I just feel like dying. I don't talk to him anymore. I'm in university, and I've got my life together again. I have friends. I exercise every day. I eat healthy, and I generally feel good about myself. But every time the topic about relationships comes up, I second-guess myself and I feel worthless. Yesterday, a guy was hitting on me, and I wanted to turn him down, but before I said anything, he went for a hug and I panicked. I must have looked really scared because he immediately backed away. I felt sorry for upsetting him. Still, every time a guy touches me, I can't keep it out of my head. I feel sick. I don't have a problem with other girls touching me or hitting on me, but every time a guy does it, I want to unalive myself. I wish I could return to my normal self. I wish I could enjoy sexual pleasure again. I feel bad for turning guys down. I don't want to become a people pleaser, but every time I upset someone, I feel like they are going to lash out on me. It wasn't like this before I started dating that guy. What should I do? Talk to my family? Friends? I don't have money to pay for therapy. Last time, my mom did it, and it stressed me out too much having to explain to her why I wanted to go. I don't think I was sincere with my therapist, too. I am lost. You've been through a really difficult and abusive relationship, and I want you to know that it is not your fault. Your ex-boyfriend's actions were completely wrong and unacceptable. It's understandable that you're now feeling repulsed and anxious about relationships and physical contact. It's important to reach out for support from people who care about you, such as your family and friends. Talking about your feelings and experiences with them can help provide some emotional relief and understanding. While therapy may be beneficial, if it's not currently accessible for you, there are other resources available, such as support hotlines or online support groups where you can receive guidance and advice. Remember to be patient with yourself during your healing process. It takes time to recover from such traumatic experiences, and it's okay to take things at your own pace. Focus on self-care, surround yourself with positive influences, and gradually work on rebuilding your self-esteem. And trust. You deserve to be in a healthy and respectful relationship, but it's important to prioritize your healing and well-being right now. Trust that with time, effort, and support, you can overcome the impact of this abusive relationship and regain control of your life. This story is from Asked Tokes, where he discovered a dark secret about his colleague. I accidentally discovered that my work colleague is a call girl. It's been on my mind for quite a while now. I was doing some overtime for most of mid-September to mid-October to collect some money for my car's down payment. I also had colleagues who would also be doing the same, and it kept me company on the days when I am finishing at 10 p.m. We actually have our work phones and our personal ones, but they don't use the same charging cable. The work one uses USB-C, and my iPhone obviously uses the iPhone charger. Turns out that I usually carry both types of chargers with me, and my colleague asked me if she could plug her phone at my cubicle. Nothing much, as we both use the iPhone 13. They are both the same color important later, and I didn't mind plugging it. She rested its screen down on my table and went to continue her work. I was pretty absorbed in what I was doing, and the phone made its notification sound. I totally forgot it wasn't my phone and picked up the phone thinking it was mine. By the time I picked it up, another message appeared, and I read, "Are you available tonight? I'm looking for some fun." And before I could process anything and realize it wasn't my phone, another message came through, reading 300 per hour, that's right, by a certain J. It took me time to process everything, and I put the phone back down, still trying to process what I saw. I decided to go out for a cigarette immediately, and I didn't want to believe this, but it was really what I saw. By the time I came back to my desk, I could see my colleague approach me, and we went to take her phone together at my desk. I told her I was out for quite a while and that I was thinking of leaving for home, and she thanked me for letting her charge her phone. On the way home, it seriously baffled me. I have nothing against people in the intimacy industry, but I would have never imagined that this colleague would be in it. It kinda left me shocked, but I obviously never brought it up again, because what's my deal in what she's doing in her personal life, and I don't think I will again. Obviously, it's strong speculation from the limited amount of data I have, but again, it was some weird series of messages. You could have handled the situation better by addressing the issue directly with your colleague. It's understandable that you were shocked and didn't want to invade her personal life, but discussing what you saw could have cleared up any misunderstandings and provided a chance for open communication. However, it's important to remember to approach such conversations with sensitivity and respect.
Thank you for watching. I hope these stories brought you the relaxation you came here for, whether you're winding down or just starting your day. If you have any thoughts or ideas for my next stream, drop them down in the comments and let me know if you like these stories by dropping a like. Also, follow me on my social media because I drop Reddit content every day.